All right.
There we go. Oh, we got a few people here. How's everybody doing today? Let's see. I can't see. Oh, we got nobody in here yet, but anyway, we'll sit here and talk. Oh, we got four people. But Spencer and I were just talking about the air quality here, and it's terrible today. I mean, well, it's been terrible for the last what month or so.
Yeah.
But yesterday, and the day before, probably the worst I've seen since I think probably 2016, and it's just it's bad. You can go out to your car and brush the dust off of it, and you go out about 2 hours later, and it's completely dusted again. But
I think we discussed this in another live session, and somebody was saying, "Oh, it could take probably 3 to 5 years for it to get back to where it was," and I was like, "No, I don't see that happening because it was bad right before COVID,
yeah,
and then COVID hit, and then it was just like peaceful. There was no smog whatsoever. That's because nobody's burning any crops. But
yeah,
now COVID is essentially over with, and these guys got to go out there and make money, so they're burning like crazy."
yeah, yeah. That seems to be what's happening. I don't know. They talk about these mushrooms, and I
Hmm.
always thought that they burned it and then they picked the mushrooms. But from what I was just reading on the on Facebook, that somebody had kind of talked about it. What they do is they burn it, and then when rainy season comes, the mushrooms are easy to pick,
Mm.
and that's what's going on. So I don't know what the issue is, but damn, it's crazy. You know, I, you cannot go out and exercise. You can't.
Mm.
You can go for a walk, but hell, you're breathing in that crappy air, and it just your eyes start burning. And I did a hey Tom, how you doing, man? Um, I went out and tried to do a video the other day, and by the time 10 minutes into it, 5 or 10 minutes into it, my voice was so hoarse,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
I was having a hard time, talking. God, this ain't gonna cut it. I went back, got in the car, came back on home. So it's one of them things. It's something we deal with here, but it seems like this year it's a little bit worse than it used to be, from what I can remember.
Well, like I told,
Last year we had it easy.
oh yeah, last few years.
Hmm.
Well, that was because of COVID, though. I mean, it just nobody was burning anything.
Mm-hmm.
But like I told you earlier, I looked on the AQI chart, and there's varying degrees of AQI throughout Chiang Mai, but the averages were about 177 to 278. And like
Mm-hmm.
I said, for comparison, I compared it to my hometown in Texas, where it's only 33.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I looked at a chart, and the chart said anything like I forgot what it was, like 151 through 199 is considered bad, but anything over 200 is considered terrible.
Yeah.
And it advises everybody to stay indoors, adults,
Yeah.
children, everything.
Yeah. Well, Lex showed me this morning. Showed me this morning. It was it was in the purple,
Yeah.
and which it had not been for quite some time. So
Mm.
I think it was something like 205 or something like that. It was funny when I had to go into the city the other day for something. It was probably either yesterday or the day before. I mean, they've got those signs that show the directions and how long it is to those big signs going across the top of the road. Well, they always
Mm.
have that little smiley face, or that little face that shows the AQI. Well, they
Mm.
didn't even have it showing. When it got to
Really?
that part of this, when the screen blinks, it was just blank. But
Yeah.
and
You
see,
know, I,
I'm coughing now. But
then I saw something in the news where the governor's got the fire department out there spraying water around town. Like that really helps.
does nothing. Does
Does
absolutely
nothing.
nothing. The only thing that does is, and they do it around, around where I live here, is they'll take the fire trucks and they'll spray the streets,
Hmm.
and all that does is just kind of keep the dust down as the
Hmm.
motorcycles go by. But as far as taking the air clean, it doesn't do anything. Those
Well, they
big
got that
water
big water
can.
blower up there at, yeah, they got the water cannon at top 8 gate.
Yeah. Well, I went up the other day. Leck had told me they had it up there, and I went up there. I was going to make a video of it, but they didn't
Uh,
have it run. It wasn't there, so I just came back on home. But
uh,
that that thing doesn't do anything. I mean, what's it? What it's going to give you, maybe a 50-foot radius of something that may resemble some kind of clean air, but it's
right.
it's it's crazy. But
And another thing I noticed is like every year that it's burning season, they always start doing emission controls on vehicles.
mm, mm,
Like they're the problem. That's not the
yeah,
case. That they're
yeah.
just deflecting.
Yeah, yeah. I
You
saw
know?
that. I saw that too. They were checking vans and
Yeah.
and the trucks and things.
And they
It's
only do it during burning season, like, oh, this is our major problem. That's not
yeah.
it. It's the burning of the fields that's a problem.
Well, the best advice that I think we can give people is, if you're here, stay inside,
Mm.
wear an N95 mask if you have to go out, and just kind of make your trip short and quick. Um, I just I I would love to go make a video up in the city, but I don't feel comfortable going up there. The air is just so crappy, and
Right,
around here, you got basically got the same thing. So
right.
until the air cleans up and things start picking up a little bit, I think I'm just gonna kind of hang tight around the house, and
Mm.
we. I don't know. I was, we're going to talk a little bit about food on this uh, live stream. Do you have where you and I live in different parts of Chiang Mai? I mean, we both live in Hang Dong, but we live in different areas. You
Hmm.
live on a little bit closer to town than I do. Do you have the Line app where people sell food
I
in
don't know. I
from
don't
your
really use
Mubon?
Line. I have
Huh?
Line on my phone, but I don't use it.
Okay. Well, here in the Mubon that I live in, or this little, the little community, we have a Line app that is kind of like it's kind of like a little restaurant, and people cook food and they'll deliver it to your house, and we've been doing that for about the last 6 or 7 months now. We just order it off of that, and they deliver it to the house. It's like 40 baht. It's really good. I was
Is
just
it somebody in there in that house cooking it, or?
Well, it's different people within the community,
Mm.
um, and what they do is they advertise on the Line app, what they cook and what they're making that day,
Mm.
um, and then you just order it online, and they show up. It shows up to your house. That's what I ate this morning.
Mm.
It was like 40 baht, and brought right to the door. Hey, you should get some of these questions here. We're talking on phone. Do you have a weakness for Nana Bakery? Yeah, I do. And I'm really I'm in bad shape because I've got one on either end within 2 kilometers. I've got one on the south end of my house that's about probably about half a kilometer from me, and then I've got one up at Cad Farang that I can go to. They have excellent bread, but the croissants are what really get you. Hey, Julio. But yeah, that's one of my weaknesses. I've heard folks mostly fly away. Yeah. Well, we usually do that. We usually, we'll plan trips during this time of year to get away. And I think you have a couple times, haven't you, Spencer?
Not really. I mean, my wife works, and
Yeah.
we have two dogs, so
Yeah.
it's not that easy to just leave.
Yeah. It's it's doable. You know, I had considered at one point going to Da Nang for maybe a month or two during this time, but I with COVID and now with the situation that I'm in right now, it may be a while before I can do any serious traveling.
Hmm.
But so now we're just pretty much stuck here. But who knows? But
Even though even some of those places down south, though, even they have high AQI levels too,
yeah,
though. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
maybe the islands, maybe like I don't know, Koh Samui or something like that, you might be okay. But I know if you're on the mainland, let's say you're in Hawaiian or whatever, it's
yeah,
still kind of bad down there.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was watching a video that somebody did. I can't remember his name, but he was in Phuket and he
Hmm.
was outside, and you could see, that the air was crappy, just like it is here.
Hmm.
So it's everywhere. It's not just Chiang Mai, but I think Chiang Mai is a little bit more pronounced because we have that bowl
Hmm.
type thing where it comes in and it doesn't leave. It just stays right in here. And we were going somewhere, and sure enough, yesterday you could see they were burning something. I don't know exactly what it was. Just some kind of it was off to the side. It was around 121, not
Hmm.
far from the house. And the smoke would just go up and it would just linger. You know,
Hmm.
the, you know, it wouldn't go anywhere. So that's what it is. And I don't know. It's something that I guess if you're going to live here, you just have to uh, you have to put up with it, and it's part
Yeah.
of it. I mean, we moved away for 3 months and because of it. And, I was right back here. I was ready to come back, but
And it's
it
not
is.
just Thailand either. It's Cambodia, Laos,
Mhm.
Myanmar. They're all burning. And
Yeah,
then depending on the wind direction, it's just coming right down here.
yeah. Well, on for those of you who are on Facebook, there's a Facebook group called Chang. I think it's Chiang Mai News in English. Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy does a great job with the channel and posting stuff. But he had a picture of the fires in kind of Southeast Asia. It was just a big red dot. I mean,
Hmm. Hmm.
everywhere.
Yep.
So it is what it is, and someday maybe they'll figure something out, but I don't foresee it in the future.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's definitely probably not a good time to come over here as a tourist.
I you know I feel sorry for people who have planned their vacations around this time, and like the ones that have gone up to and rented chalets or things up in the mountains. Because once you get up in the mountains, you can't see anything. I mean,
Hmm.
you're up in the smoke, and
Hmm.
it's it's you got to do something. From what I have read, it has been this way for hundreds of years, and they've never changed it.
Yeah.
Um, it's just one of them things. But
Same.
I, I've got rice fields around here, and I've kind of been watching them, and they're not burning them.
Hmm.
They've they've cut the rice off, and it's probably the stalks are about probably 8 or 9 inches high,
Hmm.
and but they've not burned them, which is good, and hopefully they won't. And they're starting to learn that uh, if they plow if they plow it over it, it actually works as a better fertilizer than burning it. I think burning it's just a little bit better cost effective for them, and it doesn't cost them as much
Yeah.
to recycle the field. But
Now, I don't know how much truth there is into this, but somebody told me that it's mainly these commercial farms that burn because like CP brand, which is a conglomerate here, monopoly,
mm-hmm.
They have to get that product to the customer. So burning it is just fast and efficient. Does a job quickly.
Yeah,
So
I don't know.
it's mostly commercial farms burning fields now.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's commercial farms as much as it is um, farmers that are doing business commercially with different organizations or whatever.
Mm.
Um, so I think that may be what we're dealing with. Is there any other Thai city you would consider living in? Um, I I I enjoyed Krabi. When we were in Krabi, I enjoyed that. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't know. What do you think, Spencer?
Chiang Rai, that'd be about it.
Yeah, yeah, Chiang Rai is nice too. But
They have a little bit more earthquakes than they do here, but it's
yeah,
kind of comparable to the old time, like 13 years ago in Chiang Mai. You remember how it wasn't so busy? That's the way Chiang Rai is now.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm sure
It,
it'll get big after a while.
yeah, and the air quality in Chiang Rai is no different than it is in Chiang Mai.
No.
Uh, I wonder if
Lampong
digital.
is kind of nice.
Yeah, Lampang is really nice. I enjoy going over there and just walking the streets and things in the old city. It's really pretty.
Hmm.
I wonder if digital nomads are going to just start leaving because I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. Because a lot of those people that do that are really health freaks, and um, it'd be interesting to see how that works out. They haven't really lived, yeah, but I don't know. We are getting a lot of. I'm seeing down here in Hangdong a lot of foreigners that I've never seen before. Families, um, not just not. I'm not talking about tourists. I'm talking about people who have moved here, and it's not just uh, some are Americans, some of them are Europeans, and Koreans, Chinese. We're getting a lot of families that are moving in around here that I'm seeing, and I basically can tell because I go to the market and they're sitting down there eating with their families, and I've never seen them before. So,
Mm.
uh, are you seeing that up where you're at in your
Oh yeah,
neck of the woods?
yeah. Our Mubon's full now. It's
Yeah,
mainly Chinese, but
yeah,
there are others here too.
yeah. Well, I think and my wife was telling me that in behind us, and they don't bother me. I mean, everybody needs to live, and everybody can live together in harmony. But my wife was telling me there's probably about 4 or 5 Korean families that have just moved in, but in the area behind where I live,
Mm.
and then there's like 3 or 4 Chinese families that have moved in, and they're trying to get away from a bad situation. So. Uh,
I don't, do they work here or do they? That's
I,
the question I have.
I don't know. The funny thing is, we're seeing um, all this media attention now about the um, visas that have been granted that were should not have been granted, and then the Thai nominees that are opening up businesses for foreigners that they're,
Mm.
they're starting to crack down on. So I don't know
Yeah,
if
the
that's a
shell companies.
yeah, yeah. So that's a big thing right now that they're complaining about, that a lot of foreigners are coming into the country now and getting Thai nominees, and they're actually taking money away from the Thai people who would normally have done this, that type of work, and they're starting to crack down on it. That guy they call Big Joke, I really like him.
Mm.
He is, he's smart. He's kind of a showman, but I mean, he wants to show off what he's doing. But uh, you know, if the guy does what he puts out to do, I think you'll see some change here. I think over a period of time.
Mm. Mm.
I've always liked him, but you know, I, the other thing too that uh, with the influx of people coming here now is the price of rental property.
Mm.
Somebody just asked, can you get a a condo for 15,000 baht a month? Yeah, you can, um, and they're plentiful, but you're probably not going to get the caliber of condo that you would have got maybe 2 or 3 years ago for 15,000 baht. You know,
Mm.
uh, you know, and you see it too, Spencer, on Facebook. People that advertise their property at
Mm.
prices that we didn't see that 2 or 3 years ago. You, you could rent someplace nice and not pay that much money, but now they're commanded. And the funny thing is when they advertise these things, they advertise them in like 3 or 4 different languages. Not only
Mm.
they do English, but they do Chinese, they do
Mm.
Korean, Japanese, and all. So they're going after it. And, I guess it's good for business. Do you know people in the USA who would also like? Yeah, I know quite a few people. Um, most of the people that quite a few people that subscribe to the channel live in the United States or and have a desire to come here and live here at some point in time. So there are a lot of people that want to come here. Whether they do or not, is yet to be seen. But there is a desire to come here and live here. And it's a great place to live. I enjoy it. I know you do, Spencer. We have a
Yeah.
good time here.
I don't
Here's,
personally know anybody that wants to live here. Most of the people I know, the farthest they've been is like Mexico or Canada.
yeah,
So they have no experience whatsoever with Asia.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some friends of mine that would like to come over for a visit, but I don't think they would ever just unpack and move over or pack and move over here.
Yeah. Arrow
Especially most of
one.
them are settled anyway.
Yeah. Well, a funny thing, there's a guy, and I'm not sure if you know him or not, but lives here in Chiang Mai, and he's a vet, and he had moved here probably about 5 or 6 years ago and got married and house and all that, and he moved back to USA, took his wife and moved back and he's now back in Chiang Mai. Um, I'm sure you know him. I can't think of his name. He
He
used to
moved.
be a hmm.
He moved from Chiang Mai to the USA, and then came
Well,
back.
yeah, he came. Yeah, he came over here and got married, and he lived here for quite some time. It's about five
Mm.
years,
Mm.
and then he went back to Florida, and he'd been gone for about I think probably 2 or 3 years, and he is now back in Chiang Mai. He's a retired Daytona Beach police officer.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's back, but
about. Mm.
Erewhon Condo. I'm not familiar with that one. I think you're talking about one that's. I think it's just north of. If it's the one I'm thinking about, it's near the Night Bazaar, and I don't know if they're expensive or not. I really don't know. Um, I don't really pay that much attention to them. Increase of families. The cost of things like that. Yeah, food's going up a little bit. We're used to be we could get a meal for 30 baht or 35 baht. They're gone up to 45 baht and sometimes 50 baht. I mean, my meal this morning, which I would normally pay, um, you know, back a year or so ago, I'd pay 30 baht for it. I paid 50 for it today. And, it's just things are going up. Eggs are going up, oil's going up, gas is going up, and they have to charge more money for it.
The price
Uh,
of pork,
yeah, everything's gone up.
and they
Have you
use a
heard
lot of
about
pork and chicken here.
Okay, have you heard about the monitor lizard fishball scandal? No, I have not heard that one. Enlighten me. Have you heard that one?
Never.
Now it may be it may be there was a company in Pattaya, which where's my wife's from, that were selling fish balls, and he may be referring to that. And they didn't have a license. They didn't have any kind of business license or anything.
Nice.
It could have been monitored lizards that they were actually selling the ball. I don't know. That was my next question.
Mm.
Yeah, I've seen some videos. A couple people have done videos there, and they do look nice. It's hard to know if you would want to relocate to Thailand if you've never been to Thailand. Only a third of the American adults are. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It's
Mhm.
it's if you before you move here, you need to come and spend at least a couple months. You can't, and even then, you're only getting your feet wet. You're not getting exposed to some of the things that are going to aggravate you, and some of the things that are hard. Um, there are some things that will get underneath your skin here, but the the good parts about living here make up for the bad parts. The little inconveniences like going for your visa, or 18 sheets of paper to get your driver's license, and and crap like that.
But
Do you?
I will admit, though, I mean, I've been all over Southeast Asia and Asia in general, and Thailand is probably the easiest place to get acclimatized to Asia because there's a lot of Western things here. So it's
Yeah,
not too much different than the USA or Europe or whatever compared to say like Laos or Cambodia, where it's not so modernized and convenient.
yeah. Well, that's and I'm glad you brought that up because that's true. Because really, here in Chiang Mai, um, you can exist very, very comfortably. Um, and without, you're going to have a few things that are, inconvenience, but for the most part, if you're willing to accept a little bit of change and a little bit of, you know, differences, you're going to live here, and you're going to enjoy your life here. And
Mm.
I mean, I do. I know you do, or we wouldn't be here. He says, "Do you cook for yourself much?" There's all you know. For two people, we don't cook that much. Now, Lek will cook. She'll cook spaghetti and meatballs, and basically what she'll do, she'll make me up about a week and a half supply of it. Um, Sometimes she'll cook her own food. Lately, since I've been sick, she's been doing a lot more cooking, mainly because she doesn't want me eating, crappy food. But for the most part, for two people, it's actually easier to eat out than it is to cook at home. Um, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Real
And
thing,
don't
busted.
forget that dishwashers are not common here.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can like have spaghetti or lasagna and just throw the pan in the dishwasher. Here
Mhm.
everything has to be hand washed.
Yep. Yep.
So that
Yeah.
that kind of makes it inconvenient too. But like you, the only thing we really cook here is at the house is like steaks and pork chops.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've got a big grill out here that we use to cook those on. But everything else we pretty much order out or go somewhere to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's easy for us. She'll wake up in the morning. She goes, "What do you want to eat?" And we've got three or four ladies that cook in the Mubon. And I said, "Well, like today, I wanted kapow and an egg, and tom yum goong." And so she got on the app. Said, "Okay, be here in about an hour." Sure enough, pull up, and I think it was 100 baht or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier, and you throw the plastic in the trash, or actually, we don't even throw it in the trash. We wash it off, and give it to the lady that comes around and gets the recycles.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
had
that.
congee and or joke and fried rice this morning for breakfast. I ordered from Judy's Kitchen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just so easy, and they drop it off, and you don't even have to go outside the house.
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, that is what you were talking about, the place in Pattaya. Yeah, I heard that apples are going up, which must be, yeah. You know, Leck eats a lot of apples and she buys them. I don't pay any attention to the prices, so I don't know if they're going up or not. But
They are.
everything is going up. You
Yeah. I was at Macro this morning and I ate a lot of apples.
know.
It's like you can get a small bag of Fuji apples. It's about 98 baht, but the better Fuji apples that are a little bit bigger, they're like 125, and you only get like 6 apples in the bag, and
Yeah.
that's macro. If you go like to Big C or whatever, they sell individual apples for like 39 baht each,
Hmm.
but they're all
Yeah.
imported because I guess they can't grow apples here.
I don't know. I don't know. Since when you first told your friends and family you were moving to Asia, what were some of the most memorable responses? The biggest response that I got is that I was full of the bull that I'd never do it, and I proved them wrong real quick. And what was yours, Spencer? When you
The only person that really knew was my father, and
Yeah.
he was taken aback by it a little bit. But I told him I'm just not cut out to be a civilian in the USA. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I had to have some kind of adventure in my life. So I took off and got that job in China,
Yeah,
and never looked
that's
back.
that's that's interesting. Now,
Yeah,
did you go to China right after you got out of the military, or?
yeah. About 4 months after I got out,
Oh, wow, that.
I had been all over the world. I've been stationed in different countries, and they were all in Europe. But I had been
Yeah.
stationed in 4 countries in Europe, and it was just I enjoyed being a foreigner in a foreign country. And I had never been to Asia before, so when I was offered the job, I was like, yeah, I'm divorced. I
Hmm.
just got out of the military. I have no house. I have no car. Let's do it.
Hmm.
So that's what I did.
Yeah. Well, for
It
me
might
it
be
was.
different for you. Had a
Yeah.
house though, right?
Oh yeah, I had a house, and I had roots and had all kinds of stuff that I had to get rid of, and my transition from you know living in the States to here. I started the transition probably about 4 years before I actually did it. Um, just planning and everything kind of had a a spot to fit in. I had two pieces of property that I had to sell. I had all kinds of stuff to get rid of, and I had to figure out where we wanted to live, and Lec really didn't care, uh, and I just everything kind of had to fall into place, and sure enough, 30 days before my retirement, everything was gone, and we were ready to go. So it
Just a
just
question: how come you didn't move to where she's from?
because it's way out in the rice fields. I mean, her family's uh, there was nothing there for us. You know, just 35, 40 kilometers outside of Bangkok. It just really wasn't. It didn't appeal to me. It was
And what about the
we
suburbs of Bangkok?
No, I couldn't. I
No.
thought about that for a long time, and I thought I would enjoy that. But the more I went to Bangkok, because every time we come over and go on vacation, we'd spend a week in Bangkok, and I loved it. But I
Hmm.
was also happy to get out of Bangkok and get into like the beaches or up here. And when we came to Chiang Mai, and I'm going to think it's probably 2007 or 2008. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I fell in love with it. I just we were here for about a week, and it was during Safran, and we just had a great time. And I thought, well,
Mm.
this is a good a place as any, and it reminded me so much of home because you got the river and you got the mountains, and you've got kind of a rural setting,
Hmm.
but then within 15 minutes you're right in the city. So
Right.
that's
Right.
kind of where I ended up. Fishball Effect. The meat was destined for restaurants. Yeah, that uh, that is. Yeah, I remember reading about that, but I didn't read it. I didn't read that it was water monitor meat, but or it very well could have been. It's quite Western. Yeah. Wow, thanks. My wife doesn't do dishes.
Mm.
Bring a dishwasher. You can buy a dishwasher
Yeah,
here,
you can buy them here. They got
but
what ones that sit on the counter.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can get one if you need one. Bangkok is nice to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. No, it just I really enjoyed going to Bangkok. I enjoyed walking the streets, and what I would do is I'd get up, about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get out and I'd walk the streets, and they're sweeping this party is the party up from the night before, and I just walk around. And I really enjoyed it, and then by 7, 8 o'clock, I was back in the hotel room, because it was getting hot. But I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed out exploring around. I always felt safe, no matter where I was.
Right.
I know at every life change, you find out who your true friends are that you didn't believe. Sorry to hear they didn't believe you initially. Did you? So I keep in touch with a lot of my friends. Um, Basically, everybody that I was friends with. That most of my friends were from work. I mean, cops kind of hang with cops, and we always kind of stick together till the bitter end. But yeah, I keep in touch with all of them through Facebook, and there's a couple friends that I talk to, through chat or whatever. But yeah, I'm not a big telephone person. I'm not a big voice person. So mostly what I do is go through text, but yeah, I've kept in touch with every. And since I've been here, I've had a lot more time to explore Facebook, and I found a lot of my friends from back when I was a teenager, growing up, and we kind of keep in touch. Have you done that, Spencer? Have you found a lot of your old friends
Oh
from
yeah.
way back?
I mean, I still keep in contact with my friends from elementary school.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, they know what I'm doing. I know what they're doing, and so it's like when I go back to the states once a year, it's kind of like a big event for them.
Hmm.
They want me to stay at their house, and then we go out to dinner and we talk about things, and it's nice. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I've got no problem with it, and they don't either.
Yeah. It's just a different. We have chose to live our lives a little bit differently, and I've got some people that think, well, I could never leave the United States. I could never live in a
Mm.
foreign country, and I respect that. Uh, and they respect the fact that I can. I mean, it doesn't mean that I don't love America. I would never go back to live there. It's just not in my pipeline. It's not in my future, and it's not anything that I want to do. But I don't have any hard feelings towards anybody that feels that you should. How did you adjust to the heat? I was in Bangkok and South Thailand for a few months recently to scout it out for my retirement. It didn't work. Heat was an issue. Well, I'm going both Spencer and I will address this, and I'll tell you how I pretty much feel. Um, Over a period of time, you'll adjust to the heat. Now, when you first get there, um, or maybe about the first 6 months, maybe a year, it's going to be difficult. You're going to sweat a lot. You're going to be changing your shirt, you know, uh, 2 or 3 times a day. But after you've been here for a while, your body gets used to it, and you don't notice it that much. I mean, I don't. Now there are days in Bangkok. Bangkok gets a lot hotter than Chiang Mai does, but um, you get used to it after a while. It doesn't really bother you. How do you handle that, Spencer?
I'm fat anyway, so I
Me
sweat
too.
pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
It's just you get used to it. You start wearing like black shirts and stuff to hide your sweat marks, and buy some really good deodorant so you don't stink people out. But uh, you're right. In a sense, I have got adjusted to it a little bit because when I go back to the states, and it's like 50 or 60 degrees, and people over there got coats on. I'm out there in shorts. I'm like, well, it's not really that cold yet. But
Yeah.
here, I don't know. It's hot all the time, so you just deal with it.
Yeah.
It's like my electricity bill is quite high for the size of house we have, but I want to live comfortable.
Yeah.
I can't do what the Thais do and just turn on a fan and let it go like that. There's no
No,
way.
no, that's something else too that people in the states don't understand. We pay a lot less for electricity here than you would ever imagine paying. You know, I've I've got three air conditioners in this house, and normally at least two of them are running all the time. And
Hmm.
I have my electric bill has never been over $90 a month ever. Um, it's just the way it is. So and plus not only do we run air conditioners, but we run fans, and then we've got
Air purifiers.
this time, yeah, we've got air fresheners running now. But so you can live comfortably here, but the thing right now is for us, and we are coming in. They just announced that May, or no, I'm sorry, March 5th, hot season starts
Hmm.
here. Did you read that? And
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 43 or something.
yep, and with this air quality as bad as it is, it's you know the streets are going to be empty. I can guarantee it. And I mean, people are not going to get out and walk around in it because when it gets hot and the air is as bad as it is, uh, it's just not comfortable. You're not enjoying life. That's for
When
sure.
you see a Thai person sweat, you know it's
Yeah,
hot.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because they don't normally sweat.
No.
No, that is funny. I was just getting used to it. Yeah, it's about the time that you get used to it, you'll be going back. Air conditioning is how to beat the heat. Yeah, and it's when 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 we first got here, the first 2 years that we lived here, we had rented a house, and the house that we had only had one air conditioner. It was in the bedroom, and uh, we ran it at night, and that was it. But the rest of the time, it was just fans, and it was hot. It got pretty hot, and I had just got here, so my body hadn't adjusted to the heat, so it was pretty bad. You do get used to it. If it gets too hot in the afternoon, I might put the air on for yeah, yeah. There's no need to torture yourself. You don't need to. I mean, um,
For
it
people
does.
that have never been to Thailand, if you look behind Bill up on the wall up there, you'll see that we don't have central air here.
Yeah,
What we have is room to room air conditioning.
right.
So that white box thing behind his head is the air conditioner just for that room.
Yeah.
So you can turn them off and on as you need throughout the house.
Let me see what that is. Yeah, electricity. Didn't know that electricity is so inexpensive. Explains the yeah. Well, there are some people that have solar panels here, but really for us, from coming from, I think the last electric bill that I paid in the United States was about $400. Uh, when you go from paying $400 to at at the time when I got here, we were paying like 800 a month for electricity. That was when we only had one air conditioner in the house. It was really inexpensive. I still have a jumper on. There you go. I guess it's probably good to live in a condo. Yeah, really, that's
Yeah.
that's true. And the thing that if you do live in a condo, where you've got a pool or something like that, you're still going to be outside you got a weight room or something like
Yeah,
that. You
fitness
can,
center.
yeah. For me, I'll be honest with you, I stay in the house, or I'll take a ride in the car or something like that. Uh, and most of the cars, I don't know. My car has a HIPAA filter in it that fits up underneath the dash. It pretty much cleans the air out. I don't worry about it too much in the car. But to get out on the motorcycle or something like that, now that's not anything to do. And it's a good time for Netflix. Watch movies or surf the internet or whatever. But going outside and doing exercise. Spencer and I both have bicycles. We've been kind of talking to each other. Trying to motivate each other to get back riding the bikes. And we talked yesterday, and yesterday was just not a bike day. I mean,
I actually
uh,
rode yesterday too,
did you really?
but I had to wear a mask the whole way.
Yeah, yeah. It just I I can wear one of those small masks, but they
Mhm.
really don't do anything for me. I've got a real good N95 mask that I could wear, but honestly, your eyes start to burn, and I
Yeah,
can tell from my voice. My voice will get really, really hoarse, and I'm
hmm
just uncomfortable. So
I actually bought
that's
some safety glasses today because they're clear that
yeah,
I can wear when I'm riding because it was burning my eyes yesterday.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for sponsoring the end of my trip. I learned to go out in the mornings, lay low. Yep, that's the trick right there. Do what you want to do in the morning, and by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Thank you. My water lady brought me some water. Uh, you know, by 2 o'clock, you're in the house. 12 o'clock, you're in the house.
Mm.
Uh, just get what you get done, what you want to do, and then just relax and chill out. By 5 o'clock, by 5, 6 o'clock, then it starts cooling off again. You can go
Hmm.
back
Hmm.
outside and do your thing.
That's the way it is here. In the Mubon I live in, it's like the streets are dead during the daytime,
Yeah.
but come 5 or 6 o'clock, people are out walking, people are out riding bikes,
Hmm.
whatever. So it definitely gets cooler as it goes towards the evening.
Yeah. He's got any long-term health issues with all the burning. Well, you know, it's hard to say, but when you go to the hospital, like Hangdong Hospital here, you see so many people lining up for the breathing treatments. My wife's got asthma. Spencer, you've got asthma.
Hmm.
You know, yeah, there's long term health issues from it, without a doubt. It, it's part of it. But the thing about up here is everybody does wear a mask usually during smoke season. Uh, and we'll go back to COVID-19 back in 2019 or whatever. I think what saved Chiang Mai for so long was the fact that it was when COVID hit, it was during the beginning of smoke season, and everybody up here was wearing a mask,
Hmm.
and it might have kept people from getting COVID-19. It didn't
Yeah,
last long,
at the
but
beginning, we were kind of like in paradise. We weren't having any cases
yeah,
up
yeah,
there.
no, no, and we were getting. Well, I think somebody was telling me we were getting direct flights from Wuhan just about daily. I think. Uh, who knows? The air, the air up here has been very bad for a week. I still go out on my bicycle because I get sure. Yeah, I know. I get that way too. I'll tell you what I try to do is I try to get out around 5:30, 6 o'clock at night
Right.
if I
Yeah.
have to get out, and I'll walk. I'll either ride my bike just around the village here, the Mubon. I won't do the. I've got an 18-kilometer loop I think that I usually ride, but I won't do that. I'll just ride around here, just get my legs, pumped up, and and then come back to the house. But it just the air is just it's crappy. I mean, it's almost like you cut it with a knife. Uh, it's really bad. Let's
And
see
we
what
were
we get.
we were talking about how this we were going to talk about food this issue, you know. And
Hmm.
it was funny because like street food, obviously you're sitting outside. So I don't know with the weather if I'd even want to eat street food right now.
Ah, I know. You know. Yeah, that's true. Man. It,
Hard to
it,
say.
it, yeah, I know. I go to the market a lot, but I try not to get there. I guess I'm probably just fooling myself because I don't think after dark, um, it's any different than it is, daytime.
Probably
I
not.
just I just don't see it. But if I go to the
Okay.
market and eat, I try to go after dark,
Hmm.
uh, where I don't notice it. But you're still choking. I met a lot of digital nomads with holes in their shoes and living in a room. Have you seen them? I see them quite a few of them. People have different. They can live differently. I mean, I couldn't live like that. I don't know if they're digital nomads or whether they're just people, just going on vacation on a budget or whatever. Um, but yeah, you don't see very many of them, but they are here. Uh,
Hmm.
People are just having a rough time. I was in Bangkok a couple of years ago, and I had a picture. I took a picture of a guy on Succumbit Road, and he was playing the bongo drums. He was I think I'm not sure what nationality he was, but he wasn't Thai. I was sure. He was a tourist, and he was soliciting funds for to support his vacation. And I took a picture of him, posted him on Facebook. People just ate him up. I don't mind people coming here if you're going to come here and you're going to live like that and you're going to live cheaply. Don't complain about it. I
Hmm.
mean, that's just how do you feel about it, Spencer? I know you've seen
Same
them.
way. Same way. You know, we talked about last episode where some people are fooled by these 500 a month things, videos you see on YouTube.
Hmm.
And yeah, you probably could get by on $500 a month, but you're going to be living very poorly.
Mm.
So if that's okay with you, and it might be okay for the younger people, but for us older folks, it's just not a good way to live. And
Yeah.
there
It's
are
it.
older people here that are like that.
Yeah.
You remember the
Yeah.
guy that had the Thai dogs?
Yes. Yeah.
And he
Jack.
he was in bad shape, real bad
Yeah.
shape.
Yeah. He I don't even think he had a visa, to be honest with you. I think his visa had run out from what everybody had said. But yeah, you don't let yourself get in that situation where you're um, bad things can happen to you here if you don't prepare for yourself, if you don't make preparation, if you don't think about the bad things that could happen and plan for them. When something does happen that's bad, it gets real bad.
Yeah.
So to come over here, I never recommend anybody to come over here on a whim. Uh, have a solid income that you can depend on. Have a little bit of money in the bank, and you know, you can get by, like that maybe for a couple of weeks, but for a long period of time, you're not going to be comfortable. As soon as something bad happens, you're at the mercy of whoever. It's just not a good idea. Do you need to wear mosquito repellent? I don't wear any. Do you, Spencer?
No,
No.
no.
We don't.
Sometimes, I mean, very seldomly do we spray it on,
Yeah,
but I would say about 95% of the time we don't.
yeah. I don't even have any. So I'm going to try to avoid the smoke. Yeah, you're about right.
Well, that's
Mosquitoes
three
can
months
be.
out of the year.
Yeah, mosquitoes can be a problem for some people, but yeah, I've heard of people getting dinged before, but I've never had it. Uh, I don't know, but we don't have a mosquito problem here that I can tell.
Well, you
You know,
usually
some
you
other,
get that like with mosquitoes, like out in the jungle. If you're
yeah.
trekking out in the jungle somewhere or
I
around
did. Now I
bodies
did
of
get it.
water.
I did get a tick one time from
Hmm.
walking in the woods. I recently watched some YouTubers talk about homeless expats. It's very sad they have
Hmm.
to go ask. Well, the U.S. Embassy will not give you jack shit. So you know, if you get here and you have a problem, you know, you're pretty much on your own now. I think understand there's some type of a loan you can get, but you have to pay it back, and before you can go anyplace. But uh, you know, anybody that lets themselves get in that kind of a situation is really making a bad choice.
But I've heard
Um,
about it. There's people, not particularly in Chiang Mai, but in Thailand, who overstayed their visa 10 years because they were just indigent. They couldn't afford to go
yeah,
anywhere else.
yeah. Do you guys ever encounter a lot of poor expats?
No.
Uh, not. I don't really. I have to say no on that. Now I have run up on a few of them that have really, you know, stretched their limits to be able to stay here. That maybe don't necessarily have the necessary funds to um, get the right visa to live here. But as far as a lot of poor expats, I've into a couple of them, but not very many. Um, you know, it's because of the circle of people that, you know, Spencer and I run around with or run up on. I'm sure there are people here, but in our little circle of friends and associates and stuff, we haven't really run up on them.
And that's the thing, like you talked about before, quality of life. Some of those people might be willing to accept a lower quality of life than what we
Mm-hmm.
accept. I knew a
Mm-hmm.
guy, an expat, who was married to a Thai woman. They lived in a wooden house, like you'd
Mm-hmm.
see on a farm, and it didn't have any air conditioners in it. It was just fans. But he was happy. He was content. He was selling bacon.
Yeah.
So apparently, he was okay, I guess. So I
Yeah.
guess it just depends on. I mean, you don't see him out there panhandling. You don't see him
Mm-hmm.
banging a couple on the sidewalk anywhere. I've seen some Russian tourists at the walking street market selling photos before years
Mm-hmm.
ago.
Yeah.
But on an average, everybody here seems to be okay.
Yeah. So I've met many foreigners in Pi who have overstayed their visa. That's probably a classic location for that to happen. Um, I wouldn't, you know, overstay your visa is just, to me, is just completely crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Uh,
You get
you know,
blacklisted too if
yeah,
you don't go to jail
blacklisted
or get
and
a
thrown in
fine.
jail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, when you're talking about poor expats. Back when um, in my wife's village, there was a German guy that had married a Thai woman, and he was living in the village there, and he was extremely poor. I mean, uh, he couldn't meet the requirements of his visa. He ended up going back and um, you know, I don't know what the situation is with him right now, but you know, he was in really bad shape. And I met him one time, and it was so funny. He lived in the village for so long. To have a conversation with him, uh, it was very difficult. Uh, you know, it was like I felt like I was talking to a zombie. He had been in the village
Mhm.
so long, and but you know, it's just one of those things. And they had a house, and what they were doing is they were renting their house out to like squatters that would come in and stay in the house and pay them so much, and that's how they were surviving. He did end up getting deported and couldn't stay. So I meet one every day. Yeah, I bet you do up there. That's crazy. There are no mosquitoes in Chiang Mai. The air
Mhm.
quality has killed. Yeah, that may be
So
crazy stuff, man. There was a noodle soup spot near my place in Bangkok and a sausage griller in front of the nearby 7-Eleven. I must. I've got to 50 times. Do you have favorites? Yeah, I've got a lady that, as a matter of fact, Spencer uh, gets, like I said, we live probably about 3 or 4 kilometers apart, but there's a lady that it comes to the market at night and she makes wonton noodle, and it's the best. And it's the same lady. I think you were ordering it off of Grab,
Right.
and she's my favorite. Um, I have another lady that's been cooking for 12 years ever since I've lived here, and she's my favorite cook, and she's got a little restaurant. It's hard to catch her open. She'll stay open for a couple of weeks, and then she'll decide to take a vacation and go to the south and go off. But yeah, we have definitely have favorite places to eat. And even, our American food here or our foreigner food that we like, we've got places here too, um, that we like to eat. You know, uh, you
Good
just,
selection.
yeah, yeah. That's the good thing about living in Chiang Mai is that you'll always have something to eat, and it's not that far. And being with Grab, Meals on Wheels,
Food
and
Panda.
some of the other things. I mean, you just pick up your phone and you look at your phone and say, "Well, I think I'll have that," and you
Right.
hit it, and the next thing you know, it's at your door, and
Yeah.
it's deducted from your bank account, and off you go.
Yeah.
Uh, I've been real happy with it. My noodle guy, wonton too. Yeah, I love wonton noodles. I had this debate with my tagger about where the exact center of Chiang Mai. Where do you think? I don't know. That's a good question. I would say probably,
Old City.
yeah, city center probably. Um, Maybe more east of the moat, um, around Narawat Bridge or something like that is probably pretty close to center. But Chiang Mai is so spread out, and there's so many different communities. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah,
Um,
the thing about it is, though, is Mung Chiang Mai, which is the city center.
Moon, yeah,
That's I would say is probably the old city or maybe towards the government offices over there.
yeah, yeah,
But everywhere else is really just we're just suburbs
yeah,
of Chiang Mai.
yeah. It's it's spread out. It's a lot bigger than what people think.
The
What
Chiang Mai
happened to?
province is huge.
Yeah.
It goes
What?
way up, all the way through the
Yeah.
mountains and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost when you go out Smong Road,
Hmm.
it goes way out there. What happened to the lady with the little girl you met who opened up the cafe? She is still doing well. Matter of fact, she sent me a message the other day, asked me how I was doing. I have not been by to see her, but I looked at some pictures of her shop, and she's uh, put a bunch of new furniture in her little restaurant. So I think she's doing real well. And as soon as I get back out and do another video, I'll get up and check up on her. Um, I'd say she's doing real well, and her business probably needs another boost, which we'll make sure she gets. She's a really sweet lady.
Hmm.
Uh, everyone should everyone should do themselves a favor and make their money in the West first, and then retire to Thailand, go to town and live with them. Yeah, that's very true.
Hmm. Because
And
there
don't
is
don't
no real jobs for foreigners here.
no don't try to come here and make money. Don't try to come here and support yourself, because you might be able to do it for a while, but if something goes bad, you're going to be on the wrong end of the stick. I have always said, don't move to Thailand unless you've got an income that is supported from outside the country, that is rock solid, um,
Hmm.
because you're just asking for trouble.
A lot of these people that come here, like, oh, I'm going to get a teaching job, teaching
Mm-hmm.
English. Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's the mindset of everybody else
Right.
that comes here looking for a job. So
Mm-hmm.
you're competing with a whole bunch of people to get one just job that doesn't even pay that well.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a master's degree or even maybe a bachelor's degree, you're not going to get a job because you're competing against everybody else that does.
Yeah. It yeah, it's just not a good idea. I mean, I know people that have come here for jobs, but they've come here for big corporations that have moved them from the United States to here,
Mm-hmm.
set them up, and and basically they're working for an American company here in Thailand or Chiang Mai, and some of them have done well, and some of them have done not so well. But that would be the only way that I would want to come here and try to earn a living. As far as uh, the starting a YouTube channel and coming to Thailand to live,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, forget it. Just
No,
don't even try it.
we just
Some
do
people
this for
do it,
fun.
yeah. But when that bottom falls out, you're going to be in rough shape.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I live in Dubai and call the Philippines home. I will never be as portly as you find. Yeah, thanks. Do you ever eat in Mayrim? I noticed many foreigners live there. Uh, I don't get up to Mayrim too often. Now, there was one place, I had a buddy of mine that lived up there, and I'd go up a couple times, sometimes to visit him. And there were a couple restaurants up there that I like. There's a little, when you're going up 107, when you get up into Mayrim, there's a little area off to the left where they have uh, a bunch of little restaurants and stuff, uh, and a couple of pizza places. But I've not been up there to eat in probably probably 7 or 8 years. I just don't get up that area. Have you been
That's
up there?
complete. That's completely on the other side of Chiang Mai from where
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
at. So there's
yeah,
really no sense going up there unless it's something so spectacular. And I really haven't heard anything that just blew my mind.
yeah, yeah. That's it. Now they opened up a coffee shop up there on the other side of Mayrim. It's got a big airplane, but I'm not into that crap. I'm not gonna go up there. Let's see. Is April a good time to come to Chiang Mai for a month? How's there? Well, it's hard to say what it's going to be like in April. It may be good, it may be bad. You're kind of rolling the dice. What do you think, Spencer?
I think it's still a bad month. Not only is it still smoky, you got the heat coming in too.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So
Um,
the only, I mean, I'm not saying that you couldn't come here, and you might even get better deals then. But I think the best time to come here would be like September through
oh, yeah,
December
yeah.
in that time frame.
September through December is just it's nice because the air is nice and cool and it's just comfortable.
They're not burning
Uh,
the fields.
yeah,
It's clean air.
good time to come.
Hmm.
Can I live on 1,300 a month? Yeah, you probably can. It just depends on your lifestyle. I mean, you're not going to live like a king, um, but you're not going to live like a pauper either. I mean, if you just want to have a decent existence with a nice house and motorbike or whatever, and eat out sometimes, yeah, 1,300 you can live pretty good. For one person.
But
Um,
the problem is, how are you going to qualify for a visa?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, you've got
Because if
to.
you're coming here retired, you got to have a big chunk of money or show
Yeah,
proof that you make a certain amount of
yeah,
money.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
$1,300. That's a little bit less probably than forty
yeah. It's
thousand a
less than
month.
40. Yeah, it's probably around 30 or maybe 40 or 41 or something.
But that's
Yeah,
that's a
you.
marriage. That's a marriage visa
Yeah, yeah,
for retirees. Like what, 800,000 or 80,000, something like that.
yeah. 800. You have to have 800,000 for a retirement visa. You either have to have 800,000 in the bank, or you have to have 65,000 coming in every month.
Uh,
Uh, like clockwork. If you miss a month, you're in trouble.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
so if 1,300 dollars is all that you have, I'd consider something else.
Tourist visa.
Yeah, you come over for a tourist visa or something like that, but you're not going to get a retirement visa. You can live on 1,300, but it's not going to meet the visa requirements for you to stay here long term.
Right.
And from what I have seen and what I've been reading, the uh, the, the the scrutiny that's going to start going on the volunteer visas, the teaching visas, the educational visas, the scrutiny is going to really be stepped up on these things within the next short period of time. So I wouldn't rely on that.
You know, and you got those people too that come over here on a tourist visa, then they extend it for 90 days for like 1,900 baht at immigration, and then they start doing a border bounce. They go to a country, bounce across the border, and come back in again. I guarantee they're going to start cracking down on that too.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I think now that we're seeing the latest crackdown on some of uh, the things that are happening that have been going on. They're cracking down on it, and I think it's just a matter of time before the rest of it is. Because basically, what Thailand is looking for right now is they're looking for people with money, and they're looking for people that want to come here, want to spend money. They're pushing those 10-year visas, which are, I mean, they're good. It's a lot of money, but that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for. They're looking for digital nomads that can qualify for those 10-year visas, and I think that's where things are going. I heard it's illegal to do a job. Yes, it is illegal to do a job that a Thai can do. I guess the last resort would be to teach English. Can't plow rice fields. Yeah.
There's actually there's a list of jobs that foreigners cannot do
Mm-hmm.
that my wife was telling me about. It's not every job. There's a list of them. Like for example, you can't be a barber here because that's a Thai only job. But
Mm-hmm.
if it's something like in the technical arena, dealing with computers or whatever, then you could come over here if you found a job.
Yeah. If you found somebody that could get your work permit.
Right,
But,
right.
the coffee lady is great. I love it when you visit. Yeah. I'll promise I'll get on my next video. I'll get by and see her. I need to check on her and get her some business. Oh, I taught English as a volunteer. It was great fun. The students were so shy. Yeah, I did that when we first got here. Lex started working for a lady, and I taught for a little while. And it was I met some of the sweetest kids, and they're all grown up now. I mean, they were little kids at the time, but it was a lot of fun. It was very rewarding for me. Um, and some of those kids are so smart. I mean, just whips. But it was really really interesting, and I think Lek is going to start teaching English again from the house. She talked about it today. She may start doing that uh, again when things get leveled out, and you know. Uh, but I enjoy having. We used to have like 3 or 4 kids that would come to the house, and it's just a blast. You need 65,000 baht. Yeah, that's what you need.
Mhm.
Um,
Unless you find a Thai wife. Now, if you find a Thai
yeah,
wife,
yeah,
then
yeah.
it's
Find
only
one.
40,000 a month.
All right, and she can make part of that too. I think
Hmm.
it used to be. I don't know if they still do that now. Yeah, 800,000 is 23,000 just for reference. Yeah, it's 65. It's 65,000 per person. Um, it used to be, and I read this. It used to be that if one person retired and had a 65,000 uh, baht income, their spouse could come in on it too. But from what I'm told now, and really you'd have to check whatever agency or um, whatever immigration office is. It's my understanding now that if it's two people, if it's a husband and wife, the husband has to have 6,500 or 65,000, and the wife has to have 65,000.
Mm.
So, but now I remember reading that before it used to be you could do it, and one could get in the other one, but I don't know how that works out now. How long has 60? I don't know. I can't answer that. I know that at one time it was less than that, and everybody that was here was already grandfathered in. But I
I
don't
think
know
it
when
was when
that
they started that OA visa
maybe.
because before, like you and I, we were on O visas. We still are on O visas.
Yeah.
But then they started the OA visa for retirement only, where you applied for it in your country that you're
Hmm.
at. And I think that's when they started coming out with all these more strict rules
Yeah.
on stuff. Because you remember, there was a mass exodus of people that left Thailand when they started making these new rules up for these visas.
Yeah. Well, when they stopped taking the when
Letter,
the when the embassies, like the American embassy and I think the British embassy, stopped doing the uh, uh, the letters, the verification letters. See, it used to be we never had to do any kind of banking stuff, crap, nothing. All we do, we made an appointment at the American embassy. Uh, we'd go up there, we'd sign an affidavit saying that we
raise your
have,
right hand.
yeah, raise your right hand saying you have X amount of dollars coming in every month. You sign it, they'd stamp it,
Mm-hmm.
they'd take your $50 and push you out the door. And you
Mm-hmm.
take that letter to immigration, and that's all you needed.
Mm-hmm.
Thai immigration finally got wise to the fact that nobody checks. Nobody ever asked me for I mean I had the money and I had the that coming in, but nobody ever checked to see if they actually had that money coming in. And when the Thai government said, "Hey, if you're going to be issuing these affidavits, you've got to verify that it's true." Well,
Mm-hmm.
the American consulate wouldn't do it. They just said, "No, we just stopped doing them." And I think quite a few of I know the German embassy still does them, and that's the only one I know about it. So when that happened, then immigration said, "Okay, well, we're not going to take those letters, but when you come to renew your visa, you've got to bring your bank statements." And I start a week before getting all my bank statements.
Mm-hmm.
It has to show every single month
Mm-hmm.
that a minimum of 40,000 baht has come in from outside of Thailand into my bank account. I mean, every single month. I can't have 40,000 or, I can't have 80,000 come in one month and none the next month.
Mm-hmm.
If I have 80,000 come in one month, the next month I still need 40,000 to come in. And they're really particular about it. And a lot of people couldn't do that. And they had to go bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
but now it's my understanding that there are some ways to get around it, and I think some people have found it. But I don't know. But I know there were a lot of people that had to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I said, first I have to leave. My wife, I leave your wife behind. Fat chance. The Thai consulates have websites in your home countries with all the current. Yeah, yeah, they do. They do. And when I was getting my visa, I went through the consulate. I think in L.A. is the one I used. If my wife can't come to Thailand, it'll be a very peaceful retirement. Yeah, I don't think you'll get out of the country. That's funny. But well, guys, we've been here almost an hour and 20 minutes. If anybody's got any questions, I'll leave the broadcast open for a couple minutes to get you any more questions. Otherwise, I think Spencer and I are probably going to go have lunch somewhere or order lunch or do something. And but anyway, I appreciate everybody coming in. Spencer, I appreciate you coming in,
Oh
and
yeah, sure.
with any hopefully maybe next week we should be. I don't know. I think I like to do these live streams on Sunday. We had a much better response the day we did Sunday rather than Saturday, but my chemo got kind of changed around a little bit because of my white blood count. So tomorrow I have to go in for chemo, and it probably will remain on Sundays now until it's done. And I've got 5 more sessions left, and I'm done with this crap. And so far, so good. The only thing that I have is I have a sore elbow, and I've had it for the last two sessions, and I'll go in tomorrow, and he'll give me some antibiotics, and we'll be done. But it is what it is, and I've not had any bad reactions from it, which is kind of rare. They gave me some pills that, and I think I was telling you about that
Mm-hmm.
the gosh, I can't remember the name of them, but they're just wicked, and they just completely knock you out. It's like 7 days before it wears off. So I'm not going to let them give me any more. But anyway, hey, I appreciate everybody coming in, and we'll see you next week. It's Saturday at 11 o'clock, and at some point in time, we'll move back to Sunday. But for right now, we're going to stay on Saturdays. And if y'all need anything, you can send me an email and subscribe to Spencer's channel. His link to his channel is going to be in the description below. And appreciate y'all coming in, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.